Hi, it's Tim Hagen from Progress Coaching, and welcome to another episode for the Coaching Conversations podcast. Now, we are on Stitcher, we are on iTunes, and multiple different channels. Please check us out. Now, one of the things that you'll get out of our podcast episodes is a lot of content, a lot of strategy. It's not fluff, it's not concept, yet we really want you to engage with the content and let us know your feedback. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. If there's topics you'd love to have us address, we would love to share them with you. Let us know your impact and let us know your feedback. The industry of coaching is changing and changing dramatically. I think we're going to have a lot of different approaches to coaching. I think things are changing. And one of my favorite magazines is Choice Magazine. It's about individual coaching. It's about the practice of coaching. And the gentleman who runs it is a really nice gentleman out of Canada. And I just love the way he goes at our industry. And I exchanged a couple emails with him, and we were talking about, where the industry is going. And one of the articles he just came out with, or one of his contributors, was talking about the different types of coaching. I'm in the midst of implementing 2 peer-to-peer coaching networks right now for not only emerging leaders in succession planning, but to actually strengthen teams. And how do we give feedback? How do we coach one another? How do we receive coaching from our peers when there really aren't titles? Number 2, one of the things that we've adopted and we've created our own methodology is something called cadence coaching. Now, we're going to be launching our own software version of it. We're using a white labeled version right now with a great company. And asynchronous coaching is actually something I started to experience about 3 years ago. And it was funny because I said to my coach, Philip, I said, it's interesting. I don't know if I want to meet with you. And he goes, what? And I go, I hate that 30-minute time frame you got to adhere to. Now, first of all, if you do calendar or scheduled coaching, oh my gosh, keep going if it's working. Don't change it. Yet there are people out there who just need that immediate access. And so one of the things that we now do is we use content. So when we train leaders on how to coach, we also give them the cadence of coaching. So after each module, we deploy some question sets. The question sets are coaching questions like, what did you learn? What do you think will work? What are the challenges in the workplace? And then we have visibility to what our leaders are experiencing on a regular cadence. Not every 2 weeks when we get together where we have to recall the prior 2 weeks to have a really productive coaching conversation. So one of the things that I love about cadence coaching is we deliver content, we use question sets, then we do something called asynchronous collaboration. We're going back and forth, and we chat, and we send videos, and we send audios, and we send text messages within this platform. And ironically, one of our clients out in New York, their IT manager goes, I think I'm coaching more than I thought. And I said, what do you mean? He said, well, I use Microsoft Teams. I'm using the chat feature to have the kind of dialogues you're talking about. I said, yeah, it's powerful. And he goes, it's awesome. And everyone in the room's kind of like, what are you two talking about? And see, here's the funny thing. I had one where a leader of ours had to have a conversation with her boss on a Friday. It was a pretty important meeting. She was coaching upward. We had to calm her down. I gave her some tips and techniques of how to approach it, some of the language to really make sure that it wasn't viewed as adversarial or confrontational. We did this all in our private dialogue using text, audio, and video. And when I added it up, it came out to about 9 minutes between the two of us. She said, I felt fully prepared. I get a message on Monday. She said, the conversation went great. You're right. Had I gone in guns a-blazing and emotional, it would have been really counterproductive. We only spent 9 minutes. Now, the funny thing was, we had a scheduled session 2 weeks from that date. Had she had to wait, there wouldn't have been that continuous dialogue between the two of us. And that's where I think we make a mistake. So first of all, if you're intrigued, reach out to us. We coach leaders, we coach individuals, individual contributors, we coach teams. And the whole concept of asynchronous coaching is, we're spending about 40% less time than calendar-driven coaching. And our clients are actually saying, this is great because I'm getting immediate access to you. So when we get a message from our clients, we typically respond within about 3 to 5 hours, 3 to 5 business hours. So there's a constant flow of dialogue. Whereas if we wait 2 weeks for our next calendar-driven session, we're trying to recall history. And then we got to fill up the 30-minute time frame because that 30 minutes is on our calendar. What asynchronous coaching does is it frees up time, creates a continuous dialogue, and it allows us to have conversations of a coaching nature with immediacy to the present. Thank you for listening to another episode of Coaching Conversations by Tim Hagen and Progress Coaching. Now, our company is always coming out with new and innovative solutions to help leaders coach their employees. And recently, we just created a new service called Coach to You, where leaders can pick and choose topics and assign 7 to 21-day programs for employees to learn and, more importantly, apply actions and then reflect and share what they're going to do going forward as a result of the learning. It's called Coach to You. We're literally bringing coaching to your employees. If you're intrigued, we'll have a link in each one of our episodes where you can get more information. And again, thank you so much for listening to another episode.